This is World History Day 16. This is 16C. This is about ancient India, and it will be our last lecture for today, Day 16. So we have the Maurya Empire, who defeated the Macedonians. They were ruled by the Maurya dynasty. They were the largest and most powerful political and military empire of ancient India. I mean, to be able to defeat Alexander the Great, you probably have heard a little bit about his reputation, but once you see how unbeatable he was, you can see that the Maurya really was top military power in the ancient world. Chandragupta Maurya united the many clans of northern India, and his descendants created the Maurya dynasty, the first united Indian empire. Chandragupta established well-organized government. He used a bureaucracy, which was managing government through departments run by appointed officials. And Chandragupta was a harsh ruler. He used the secret police to crush dissent in the empire. So it was kind of a fearful place to live, but he ruled with an iron fist. And a quote from Chandragupta is that government is the science of punishment. So see what you think about that quote. Chandragupta, he led an extensive empire. His empire stretched from the Himalayan mountains and the Kabul Valley, which is modern Afghanistan, to the southern tip of India. So he eventually conquered all of India. And that was the first person to do so. India during this time had a thriving economy. Chandragupta's end of life is a bit tragic, depending what you think of it. He decided religiously to become a Janus, and he fasted to death. So I guess he tried ultimate power and it did not satisfy him. He could almost take a page out of the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's review. What is a powerful empire that gained more of India? See if you can answer it. Write it in your notes. Yes, it's the Maurya Empire. And then see if you can answer this next question. Who is the first emperor of the Maurya Empire? And there it is on the screen, Chandragupta. Sorry, I pushed it too quickly, but there you have it. So next we'll talk about another ruler in India. This ruler's name was Ashoka, and he was involved in a battle, the Battle of Kalinga. And in that battle, he decided that he had lost his taste for war. So he had been part of that dynasty that was so good at military might, and this is why he purposely gave up his might. So this is an interesting quote from Ashoka. What a dreadful deed have I done. I was the head of a vast empire, but I longed to subjugate, which means to take over, a small kingdom and cause the death. So he was trying to get another little piece to add to India. And in this attempt in the Battle of Kalinga to take over a small part of land, many of his own soldiers died. And Ashoka is taking responsibility for that. He's saying, I widowed thousands of women. I orphaned thousands of children. 150,000 people were taken prisoners. 100,000 were killed during the battle. Many more died as a result of the war. And some rulers are able to lead something like this and say, well, it's, the ends justify the means. I'm moving on. But Ashoka, it just changed his life. So here is a drawing of him. What did Ashoka decide to do after being so impacted by this battle that he had led? He decided for the rest of his life, and this is Chandragupta's grandson, he would reject violence and conquest. So India would not try to take any more land, which maybe explains to you why the Maurya Empire is only in power for a short period of time, and also why when it has an army that has the ability to defeat Alexander the Great, why it doesn't spread out and conquer the Middle East and try to go to China and all these other places. Well, he rejected violence and conquest. And this is a quote that kind of proves he's rejecting violence and conquest. Ashoka says, all men are my children. I am like a father to them. As every father desires the good and the happiness of his children, I wish that all men should be happy always. So that's Ashoka. Because of that, he's the last major emperor of the Maurya, because that kind of attitude is unarguably noble, but somebody's probably going to take advantage of such an empire, which you can predict, and try to take it over instead. Under Ashoka, India was a prosperous and a stable empire of great economic